All rise, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Before tonight's meeting, the members met in executive session to discuss some issues of personnel and real estate. All right, to begin, we have a presentation from the EAC. Ray, take the podium, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for this opportunity to address this board. My name is Raymond Hendrick. I live at Spring Valley Road. I've been there for 49 years, and I'm the chairman of the EAC committee. And on behalf of the EAC committee and myself, I would like to thank you for giving me the time to discuss these proposals with you. 25 years ago, John Carson asked me to keep journals, notes, records of the status of the environment in the park system and in township. And at the time, we discussed it, and I said I would accept. Since that time, I've recorded over 175 species of different birds using the park system. With the advent of, with your kind permission, the Bluebird Nest Box program and the Screech Owl program, with the help of Stephanie's maintenance people and getting ladders and so forth up where I can't reach, it's been very successful. One of the disturbing things, though, has been the lack of breeding birds in the park system. While the parks are being used by migrating birds going north from Central and South America in the spring and coming south, they pass through, they don't stay to nest. The reason we've been looking at for a number of years is that people with the dogs that want to come up as soon as they get off the trail, let the dogs off the leash and roam through Hart's Woods. Kids coming through playing frisbees in the area. We're proposing to ask the board to restrict the area around Hart's Woods in Central Park and along Neiman's Trail, along in Chamonix Creek, during the period of April 1st through August the 1st. By using specific signs, and I think you have it in your packet, the description, special wildlife area, keep out, threatened species of ground nesting birds, help us protect these rare species by staying out of the restricted areas during the nesting season, April 1st to August 1st. Now, there is a precedent to use this system. I'm working with Peace Valley Park now, and we've already, with the Game Commission, set aside areas at Peace Valley to save long-eared owls, which are an endangered species in the state, and the system works. The program, I've been told we have a budget for the signs, so it's not going to, I will get them installed, and would like to have an opportunity then to check how successful this program will be. In addition to the birds, the wildflowers and plants also will benefit from this. It's not complicated, but if you have any questions, please. Yes, ma'am.
I do. Were the signs going to be enough, or might you need a stake and rope?
I think that's really almost looks like a crime scene if it's a stake and rope type of thing.
Well, they do it all the time on the beaches in New Jersey.
Yeah, I know where the piping plovers are.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they stake and rope them out. Everyone respects it, but it also gives the demarcation so that the little kids don't run into the areas that are protected.
If that's something you consider, I just thought it would be, I'd like to start the signs, and in the areas where they access the Hart's Woods along the trails, I've got the spots picked out already. I would like to do that first. If it doesn't work, we can always fall back and do the rope idea. Okay. If that works for you.
Questions?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions from the board? First?
No, I don't have anything.
Quick question is,
Get up,
we
please.
close the bike path, or is it just around it? That's what I want to know.
No, we're not, no. They don't nest on the bike path, so...
Do that, but okay.
No, it's...
Through the area.
No, it's the area that's in the understory, in the areas that you're not going to be riding a bike. No. Thank you. I appreciate the easy questions. Oh, could use that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, the chair will entertain a motion to approve this.
I'll move for approval.
Signage and protection.
Second.
All right. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're good to go, right? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That was the easy first one, so I'm glad I did my homework on that one. The second one is with the passing away of Oliver Stark, who was the township botanist. I was asked to wear another hat, which was the township botanist. So I agreed to that one, too, since the pay scale is so great and and the rates and also, are great. I accepted 2 jobs, so I accepted that.
We very much appreciate it.
Well, it's fun, and you've got a great staff and people, and it's always nice to come before you. EAC is proposing to install a native plant demonstration garden with the idea to encourage the residents of Doylestown Township to appreciate what native trees, shrubs, and wildflowers really are and how important they are. A lot of the area, and especially Peace Valley and some of the other parks, are in an onslaught with exotics like English holly, burning bush, Bradford pears, Norway maples that absolutely zilch as far as wildlife, food, cover, or benefits whatsoever. This is a hands-on program. We've got volunteers lined up to do it. We would like to start out with riding the bird blind. And I've got growing in my gardens now on Spring Valley Road already plants, native plants, redbud, dogwood, wildflowers and things like that to be able to use once we get the okay to start it. The idea is, and the dimensions, I won't bore you with them, but they're all here. They are going to be volunteers, as I said, to do the work. We've got them all lined up. The plants, most of them are going to be donated. There will be some. I've talked to Dick about maybe getting some other larger plant materials in there. But I think it would make a great, be a great asset for Doylestown Township. I've seen Solbury Townships. They rain garden out in front of the township building with all those native plants in there. It's beautiful. It's really great. Delaware Valley College has got some nice demonstration gardens with native plants, and I'd like to see that is implemented. You've got the list of what the available, plants are, and unless you have any questions, I'd like you to consider that in a favorable light.
I'd just like to say Janine Mitchell did a great
Yes.
job on presenting this Monday, November the 4th.
Correct.
I happened to be fortunate to be in attendance, and they had a nice little crowd, about 30 people there, and a lot of people don't understand what native plants are all about and so forth, and I thought they got a good education there to learn more about what we were talking about.
I'm fortunate, as chairman of EAC, to have come with people like Keith, and the past EAC chairman and members of the board, and present members of the board who work very hard to try to put together plans that make the township a good place to come to. Native plants, pollinators, bees, and the like. Everything it's a plus win-win situation. I don't see anything negative in it.
I love the
I
idea.
have a question for Ray, real quick.
Yeah.
We have volunteers to get it installed and everything. Is it going to be part of, like, the EAC's plan to do a regular maintenance? Or
that was-
native plants, there's less maintenance.
Correct.
But otherwise, is that going forward? Would that be
I know Mr. John had a question about, the ongoing maintenance of it. I can't speak, 76 years old, don't know how many more years I want to clean out bluebird boxes, but, until the day comes that I can't, and somebody else is going to have to pick up the torch. We have right now people who want to do it and stay with it. I can't give you a blood oath that it's going to happen forever and ever and ever, but I think more people will get involved in it.
And the staff that works here can continue to get student groups to help with the weeding and maintenance.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I also want to add that the Park and Rec Board already heard
Yes.
Ray's plan,
Yes.
because that's an important piece.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, both Park and Recreation have seen both of these proposals, and they unanimously agreed it was a good idea.
Well, I love the idea. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Thank you.
If you go on one of Ray's bird walks, you also have a native plant identification instruction thing. It's very cool, yeah.
We wear the hats. By the way, they are very successful programs,
Yes, they
and we're looking forward to doing it in 2014.
Okay, on the native plant idea, is everyone... Let's
I would make a
approve it.
motion
Let's
that
do it.
we do that, yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Everybody wants to say.
Yes, second. Any other conversation, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you so much. I was reminded when Sandra said we had 3 proposals to bring up, and she wanted to put this one up first. And I said, well, when my children were young, my wife and I when we wanted them to take some medicine, we'd put some ice cream on, So I thought the first 2 proposals would go down easier than the third one, which is the municipal waste hauling document. I am glad that we can bring it up tonight because since Keith and I have been talking about this since 2010, 11, 12, and 13, this is an issue that has required every single meeting, the issue of waste management and recycling. I am not the definitive word on this. I've read all of the documentation, but I looked on it that it was my job and the committee's job, strictly from an environmental aspect, was it a good idea to go to single trash haulers and to get a larger involvement in recycling. And based on that, talking to the people, doing the surveys, looking at the different plans, the White Marsh plan and the Chalfont plan, which you have, and that one I know is going to take a lot of time and consideration. But I don't want this evening to go by without you realizing we've put a lot of work over a long period of time into coming up with it. I don't know if this is the definitive answer, but we would like you to consider what we have come up with. And there's the my right-hand lady here who worked me through it. But if you have questions about it, there's a lot of materials, and from the standpoint of EAC, we suggest that you consider it favorably. I don't know. I know it's not going to be something you're going to do right away.
Yeah.
But I'd like it.
I think we have to have some consideration, put some time into thinking about this.
I realize it.
And I'd like to see some of the backup for your recommendation. I know you probably have some
You probably
support.
weren't here when we considered it one time before, and somebody come up with a bag of trash and put it right on the dais here and said, I don't want to have the township collect my trash. And it was laying right here. You're right, it creates a lot of public interest.
And that's the reason why I wanted to be, just to lay it out there. And I have a selfish reason, too. I do not want it to come up on my schedule for the next EAC meeting. I am tired of looking at it. And so if you have specific questions, Sandra and I...
So your recommendation, based on all your surveying and research, is one hauler?
From an environmental standpoint, less wear and tear on the roads, the bridges. I was surprised. I've been recycling ever since it came out, and that how many people in the township don't recycle. And that is a surprise to me. And I think that if we get on the revenue from the recycling and the logistics of it, that and the economics of it is something that I just didn't want to get involved in from an environmental standpoint. Okay.
I mean, there's certainly a lot involved in it, and Keith knows. He and I spent hours on the phone years ago going through this, and we've talked a bit about it, and I've got some serious concerns. I don't know if you want to get into all these now, or
I don't know that everybody's had the opportunity
I
to
need to
review all
think
the
about
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would suggest that you do that.
Yeah.
That-
I mean, we read the materials, but, like I said, I'd like some backup.
Sure.
What some of the research has been and some of the survey I see the survey results, but just, I think that one of the greatest objections to a single hauler is an attitude that residents want to be able to choose. And government does too much, or government is too invasive, and it's more of an attitude that you have to balance that right to determine who you contract with, as opposed to, what might or may not be best. Environmentally, we try and do what's best environmentally, of course, but we also try and recognize that these attitudes are very important to people.
I agree 100%. As a matter of fact, I pay my trash bill, and I would probably, if I wasn't concerned about some of the issues, I'd probably say the same thing. Why should I have somebody else tell me who to choose? But again, we kept trying to keep the board focused on
The environment.
and the environmental issues. How much trash, how much damage, how much noise and pollution, and trucks running back and forth and every which way, and residents complaining about, some trucks showing up at 6 o'clock in the morning, things are being dumped all over the place, some are at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the school buses, and so that was the issue that we tried to address.
Okay.
And I hope that the information you get.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Well, I think you table it on your EAC committee for a while. Let us think about it.
Hey, Ray, I think you should mention one more thing, the
Oh,
Bluebird Workshop.
I didn't want to, we're...
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, Tom, can I...
Yeah, sure.
I've been doing this for 14 years at Peace Valley Park, and I build the Bluebird boxes, and we get people to come out, and the numbers are just swelling. Now we have to cut them off because there's only so many people we can work with. And I would suggest that perhaps in the spring we have a workshop for bluebirds and screech owls and things like that. And maybe you'll be hearing from me again.
Well, I hope so.
I didn't want to leave you, let that go without people noticing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well done, Ray. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That's it. Visitors and public comments. Keith?
Hi. As a former chairman of the EAC, I think the EAC did a great job in considering that waste hauling proposal. I would just like to ask the board to consider doing a request for proposal and sending that out with the right to reject any and all bids for single hauler, and so that the Board of Supervisors isn't deciding this issue based upon not knowing what they're deciding on. In other words, we have individual waste haulers right now, came out of my development at 116 in Steeplechase, and we've got trash cans. Some houses have trash cans out there. 5 days a week we get trash pickup, different haulers. There's no township contract that those haulers obey, because everybody gets to choose their own. If we got to choose our own cable provider because there was competition, we would have a more competitive cost thing. Right now, we don't have the ability to choose to dictate the cost of our trash hauling. They tell you what they're going to charge you, and you either go with them or you shop around. Not everybody shops around. If we put together a contract, people would have to come in, haulers would have to come in with their lowest price offer, and the Board of Supervisors could decide whether they wanted to go with that hauler or different haulers, and they could limit the term of the contract for a number of years so that there wasn't an unending monopoly, which is residents typically fear, so that you could time frame it so that there wouldn't be a monopoly. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith.
Talk about in your packet you had 2 example RFPs, one from Chalfont and one from White Marsh. They're really different ways of handling it. Keith knows we discussed there's the Chalfont model where the township doesn't get involved really in anything, and the Plymouth White Marsh you get involved in a lot. So I know you guys are going to look at it further, but there's a huge staffing effect to one of those models, because I've spoken with the other municipalities that do it. Obviously in the Chalfont model there's not a staffing impact. In the White Marsh model, where you get some revenue, there is an impact of who's going to handle all of the administration of the program. So I just wanted to point out that there is a staffing impact for the township in the one model. That's all.
Good to know, thanks. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, any other visitors or public comment? Okay. Next meeting of this board is December 3rd, 2013, and we're going to be closed November 28th and Friday, November 29th for Thanksgiving. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes for the road inspection. We're going to do one at a time. Road inspection on October 15th, 2013. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye, with 2 abstentions. That would be Ryan and myself. Next item is the budget work session for October 15th, 2013, same day. Is there a motion to approve?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Questions? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye, that's 4 and 1 abstention. Next item is the approval of the regular minutes on October 15, 2013.
Move for approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? All in favor? Aye, with 1 abstention. All right, report from the solicitor.
Nothing we won't talk about later, Madam Chairperson.
Chief?
Just to update you on the COPS grant that we've I made some phone calls today, and nothing's been awarded to this point yet, so we're still up in the air on that. 3 issues related to traffic. As far as the Route 202 and Route 313 Pools Corner, I have not heard anything back on that. PennDOT is getting, that's in their queue. An field inspection was completed today for Southeastern Road at New Britain and Sourman. With PennDOT, Panoni, and myself, we were out there. A couple different options were thrown around as far as line painting, and they recommended that we get some updated traffic counts to determine whether or not traffic signals will be warranted at those 2 intersections. And then the third one is from the 611 and Edison Prong Road. We did receive final permit for the dedicated left turn phase for northbound 611, so that will be, progress should be started soon.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay.
All right, manager.
Yes, we have the PennDOT agreements and resolutions. These were approved by the board previously. Unfortunately, the coordinator for PennDOT did not get them all. He tried to wait and get them all together from all the other municipalities to submit to PennDOT. When they ended up at the Harrisburg office, they were stale because it was all beyond 60 days. So he has to go back to all the municipalities and ask them to reauthorize the documents and authorize signature of the documents by the chair, and then he will resubmit them as each municipality signs off on them.
So we have to table these for now?
No, you need to approve. You have to
approving it again.
approve them.
We're approving again. Okay,
Yeah.
the last time I asked to correct the last time, and that is under Section 22, the regional arterials. They have the East Street at 202 Parkway and Swamp Road. It's East State Street.
That's on the,
Yeah.
that's in actually the ordinance.
Well, that's not the name of the street.
No, but that's in the ordinance, that's not on the agreements
Okay.
with,
Somebody has to correct that, because that's wrong.
when we get to
That's
the
not what we're
ordinance.
talking about now.
I
Yeah.
know, okay.
We'll come to that.
It's part of what we're looking at, though.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Beg your
These are with-
pardon, sorry.
Sorry. These are the agreements with PennDOT for the 202 Parkway, specifically.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay, can we do all these at one time?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the agreements and resolutions for the 202 Parkway? That's a traffic signal maintenance agreement and resolution, video sharing, cooperative memorandum agreement and resolution.
Move for approval.
I'll second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
The other one is for informational purposes. We did receive the response from DEP on the 3M planning module that we submitted. We've also had CKS did a quick review on it as well. There's a number of things that we need to get them and information that they've asked for, and I will be meeting probably later this week or next with the Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority representative, because a lot of it comes from them, and Eric Janenka from CKS to be able to respond to DEP's letter. The one thing that DEP did identify in the letter, and I would ask the board for consideration, is that the 180 days to complete and review, they have until February 3rd. They're concerned that even if we respond and get the information back with the holidays and stuff, they probably won't, they may go beyond that. And so they're asking that we give them an extra 60 days in which to complete the review and everything. So I'd recommend that we do that. If not, they could end up disapproving the plan, and we would have to start all over again.
Well, we'll entertain a motion to allow the extension for 60 days. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion. I mean, it seems like we have to.
Yeah, I don't think we have a choice either.
Yeah.
I want to play it safe.
All in favor? I mean, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. In favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
All right. Thanks. Supervisors. Sean?
Okay,
you have
thank
anything?
you. Yeah, just a couple quick comments. I know we have a lot on tonight, but this morning, the Bike and Hike Committee met, discussed various projects that are ongoing, especially the destination Peace Valley along the Pine Run Reservoir, and we had a representative from the DCNR out to discuss their ongoing work with us and everything. And if you want more details, there's, of course, minutes of all these meetings and everything to come to, and I encourage you to come to that. It's a great committee. There's also, has been ongoing fundraisers for the next phase of Kids Castle. There's something on November 22nd, I think 5 to 7 at Barley Sheaf. But just follow the website. The details are on the Township website or here at the Township building, and continue to watch for other volunteer opportunities and fundraising opportunities for the Kids Castle. And lastly, I just mentioned it, I know it actually has to do with the road and bridges, but it's around our neck of the woods. That bridge on Old Dublin Pike that has been closed for how many months over the Pine Run Creek, that's open. Yeah, and I guess everybody, if you travel that way, you know it. If you haven't, I guess, I don't know, we have that posted on the website, Township website, or no?
We tweeted it when it opened and everything,
okay.
so Facebook did.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
No, I have nothing at this time, thank you.
Ryan?
I don't have anything this time.
Well, I'll pick up the time that was left over then.
I yield to Rick Colon.
Nobody yielded to you.
Well, they will. Our TV station, DTV, which you're watching, the 37% average is live broadcasting. It's not the old days where you used to get billboards. So even though you're enamored watching us now, when this meeting is over, there's live programming that goes on for 37% of the rest of the day. A lot of the EAC riparian buffers, yeah, thank you, and even the bats, which I didn't care for too much, to be quite honest. But it's live TV, so we're trying to continually add to it, so please jump in at other times. Also, our other social media, Twitter, we have 153 followers, which is big. No?
No.
That's somewhat big. And Facebook likes, we have 302.
It's okay.
So we're so-so and okay in that area. So we need some more support so we can get okay and okay in those two areas. And I echo the bird walk. That was fun going on the bird walk with Ray and Janine. As far as development in the area, we had the Dublin Pike right across from the bridge came in, and they're looking to make some changes there. We also had, you may have seen if you go over Sandy Ridge, over the railroad tracks with the cement on the right hand.
It's coming in. Yeah.
You go over that, you'll see they're starting to do something. So that's going to be coming into the Planning Commission. So that's open to the public. Please come and keep us company on the Planning Commission. You heard a lot about Hurricane Sandy a year ago, etc. But we learned from past disasters to get a little bit better with collecting data. And we were able to get our monies back from the disaster fund due to the good reporting. I mean, we got 100% of it back, and with the government, to get 100% back of what you ask for is not easy to do. $53,750.11. Kudos go to Sinclair and Christian Jones for putting it all together and sending it in and submitting it. Last thing, last few weeks running into a lot of residences. Some of them have different opinions of a lot of things. And I think that's part of our job. We don't communicate enough of what's going on in the township. We get a monthly report from the police department. Just keep in mind, on average, every day, there's 2 accidents in this township. That takes a lot of time and effort. There's 8 traffic violations. This is every day. 24 service calls. So the police are constantly going in all different directions, and an average of 2 offenses, burglaries. I think some people think it's an easy job being a police officer in Doylestown Township. It's a difficult job. There's a lot going on. It's a full day and a busy day. And I thank everybody for yielding their time to me.
Okay. The only thing I have is, I have 202 on the brain, but some of the residents east of the 202 exit ramp have asked that we look into the development of the Pools Corner and see if we can add some kind of sound buffering for the residents who live. That would be, if you're going up East Road, they would be on the other side of the 202 exit ramp as it approaches Pools Corner. So with that, Stephanie, and we're going to shoot a letter to PennDOT and see if it's not too late to add some kind of sound buffering, because as you know that the 202 Parkway is heavily utilized, and as it approaches Pools Corner, that whole area is going to be redone. So if it's not too late to add to the plan some kind of buffering, noise buffering, we're going to try and make that happen. That's all I have. Okay, next item on the agenda is the public hearing on the amendment to the subdivision and land development ordinance regarding street hierarchy, which is what I was referring to on 202 as well.
If I may, the street hierarchy ordinance has been around for a little while. It's been reviewed by the Planning Commission, the final version following the last review by the Planning Commission, and the board has been advertised for public hearing. To my knowledge, based on the comments from Judy Stern-Goldstein, there's nothing required as far as an amendment based on the comments from the Bucks County Planning Commission, who basically recommended approval, as did your Planning Commission, so it's prepared for a public hearing. But if you have, is it the subdivision or zoning ordinance where you need the name change?
Design standards, it's the ordinance.
Probably be the subdivision ordinance?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So where are the name changes?
It's just one.
Just changing.
It's just the same one that I said last time. It's to the regional arterials, under Section 222, Article 6. The regional arterials are east. Should be East State Street.
East State Street?
Right, instead of East Street.
Okay. So you should...
That's the only one I know.
You should amend the ordinance under consideration to make that change before we go to the next part of the public hearing.
Okay. While I make the motion, is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion to amend from East Street to East State Street?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Aye. Okay.
Any comments?
Any comments regarding the hierarchy of our roads?
I don't see a throng of people here.
Everyone had a chance to look at them. By the way, I looked at, because Rogers Road has been a subject. It's deemed a neighborhood collector, which is the lowest form of roadway. A community collector, for example, would be Cherry Lane, Ferry Road, East Road. A community arterial would be like Butler Avenue, Easton Road, between the Borough Line and Swamp Road, for an example. And a regional arterial, of course, is Route 611 and the 202 Parkway. So that's kind of the hierarchy of the roads. And the Planning Commission worked pretty hard on making sure that those roads were correctly identified and categorized. So, comments from anybody? Mr. Hendrick?
Just a quick one. I live on Spring Valley Road, and on Spring Valley Road, the sign says Spring Valley Road. But when you're coming off Edison Furlong to Spring Valley Road, there's a sign saying Spring Valley Drive. I don't know how that popped up there, but I just thought...
It's the same road, but one's a drive, one's a road?
Yeah, and I've just wondered how it happened.
What does the post office say?
Spring Valley Road, when I lived there in '64, it was RD3, Spring Valley Road. It's always been.
It's always been RD.
Yeah, so, you know.
Somebody ought to check on that to
Yeah.
make sure it's not a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought I'd bring up to your attention.
Who was somebody?
Road Department.
Road Department.
Okay.
It may have just been the
Thank you.
sign came in incorrectly.
Yeah, I'm
Sometimes
sure
when they
it's
order it
as
from the
simple as
sign
that.
company.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Any other comments? Anything from the board? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
Any other comments? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Okay, good. Thank you, everybody.
The next ordinance is the zoning ordinance amendments to correspond to the street hierarchy issue. The only thing that we need to do is that in the Bucks County Planning Commission's comments, they would like, and Judy Goldstein agrees, that the word "or community collector" appear in section 175.16.E.6, parentheses A, close parentheses, so you need to amend the ordinance to include that.
Is there a motion to amend the ordinance to include that phrase as recommended by the Bucks County Planning Commission? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Who's doing that? Okay.
And as, again, this ordinance was duly advertised. It was recommended for approval both by the Bucks County Planning Commission and your Planning Commission, and has probably been talked about ad nauseum for several years. So again, it's a public hearing, and the board should consider whether to approve or not approve the zoning ordinance complement to the subdivision land development ordinance revisions.
Anyone have any comments or questions? They
make
go
a
hand in
motion.
hand. Anybody else? Any residents?
You looking for a motion?
All right. The motion is to accept the amendment to approve the...
Yeah, they already did that. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the zoning change. All in favor? Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Is that it?
The moment.
New business, stormwater plan activities. Conestoga Rovers.
Yes, we have Conestoga Rovers' proposal to do this year's coming up for $16,700. They will do all of the inspections and sampling and mapping and reporting, and including the public presentation, which they typically do in February, along with project management on our stormwater requirements for DEP.
How does that cost compare to last year? $16,700. Is it consistent?
Yeah, it's
More?
something off. I'm not exactly sure.
I think we have someone that may know.
Sandra may know.
Out of the bowels of the
In
building
the
comes
budget.
the answer.
Oh, it's definitely in the budget. We know that because we're required to do it.
Yeah, it's totally in the 2014 budget and a little cheaper than last year. If you remember because they're doing less, but the last 3 years have been working on increasing our mapping we had to do for DEP. Every year DEP requires different things, so their budget goes up and down. One cool thing that they can do for us now that I have to tell you about is they have a test that can now differentiate if coliform bacteria is from animal or human sources. That's important information when you're looking at public sewer. So we've had a lot of people discuss, septic system issues and say that they're not septic system issues when now we'll have
It's
a
nice to
test.
see the assistant manager so excited about it.
I'm really excited about the difference between coliform bacteria, yes. I never thought in my younger years that would get me so excited, but it
Get
does.
you excited, huh?
All right. Is there a motion to approve the Conestoga Rovers
Contract.
thank you, contract?
I'll make a motion.
Vote for approval.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
All right. Conestoga is approved. Bids and proposals for snow removal.
Yes. We have a memo from Dick John regarding the snow removal bids for the upcoming winter. and we have several bidders, Hartman, Puppy Dog, Visuals, and Spear Excavating. And Dick is recommending that we award a contract to each because they provide different sizes and types and numbers of vehicles to supplement our fleet, and it will be covered through our budget of $83,000. And he's recommending that we award to each of those bidders at this time. And most of them, I think, have worked with us in the past, have also been bidders in the past.
Do any of these have a minimum hour requirement?
No. So if we don't get any snow,
No, I mean, do they call the trucks out? You have to have 3 minimum hours if you call the trucks out or anything like that? Okay.
Most of our events last 4 to 6 hours at a minimum.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the snow
So
removal
moved.
bids? Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions about the bids? No. I just have a question about Puppy Dog Landscape Company. Is that do they come out and do the little trails?
We do the dog park.
No, I don't know how that came about. They're a
Called
resident.
Puppy Dog Landscape Corporation. Okay. All in favor? Thank you. All right. Precast wall bid.
yes. This is for the area down back. You have the pictures of what we'll be using those precast concrete wall panels for. Although there were a number of inquiries, there was only one bidder for the wall panels from Standard Center Wall Sections and from Sollenberger Silos for $22,200.
These are the storage bins for the Public Works building.
Yes.
Okay.
And we would recommend the award.
Oh, it's the only one, right?
Yep.
All right, all in favor of the recommendation? Is there a motion to approve the recommendation? I'm having problems with my
So moved.
mouth tonight.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Contract of adhesion. All right, tree pruning and takedown proposal, yet another funny name, Jimmy's Tree and Landscape Contractors.
Yeah, this is actually a proposal that Dick put out to take down the 55 unsafe trees and problems that we're having with trees along the bike trail and other roads in the township. Jimmy's Tree and Landscape Contractors provided us with the lowest proposal at $18,500. And we do have a balance of over $40,000 in the budget, and we're recommending awarding to Jimmy's.
Now, Jimmy's is $18,500, the next one is $28,000, so it's $10,000 more for the next guy. So Dick says he's worked with Jimmy's before, and they're reputable and do a great job, so we'll entertain a motion to approve Jimmy's.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Always reminds me of that Seinfeld episode when you're in the shower. Jimmy, that's when he's laughing. He knows what I mean. Jimmy likes that. Jimmy likes that. You
Tried it too.
No.
All right, fund management policy.
Yes, if you recall, we discussed this at our last budget work session, and Ken and I reviewed that the auditors, this is a requirement that we need to have in place for our audits, and we've drafted policy. Jeff looked at it. We put in Jeff's suggested corrections and would ask the board to adopt the policy at this time so that we have our procedures in place.
This is a requirement that we have an investment policy for our money that we take from the public and we hold in trust and disperse funds for expenses.
Right.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we adopt this policy,
Thank you.
funds management
I'll
policy.
second.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Now we have a request for, 3 hookups?
Yes, 3 sewer hookups, 59 Pine Valley Road, 559 West Sandy Ridge Road, and 577 Pine Run Road are all in need of emergency connection. all having difficulties with their on-site septic systems, and have all provided the appropriate information along with letters from the Bucks County Water Sewer Authority indicating appropriate capacity for these connections. Of course, the main lines are already in the street, so the owners would pay to have their plumbers connect them to that line, and the appropriate fees of plumbing to the township and to Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority for the EDUs.
So all three properties are complying at this point?
Yes, they're complying.
I'll move for approval on that.
So, on all three?
All three.
All three hookup requests. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor of the motion to hook up the three properties as detailed in the agenda?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Neshaminy Greenway Trail Design Assistance
Yes.
Supplement.
Yes, this is supplement number 3 with Baker Engineering. PHMC and DEP came back, their review on our permitting applications, and requiring us to complete a Phase 1 archaeological survey. And so Baker went out and obtained 3 proposals. The lowest proposal is from A.D. Marple at $11,800. And this is just not the typical archaeological or historical review that they do, but this is an actual pit test every so many feet that they're requiring us to do along the Neshaminy to see if there are any archaeological finds that are out there. So we required to do that in order to move this along. In addition, there's additional environmental permit assistance, and the NPDES application and post-construction stormwater plan being required as well. So the total for this supplement, including that archaeological to 80 Marple, is $27,968.91. This was reviewed this morning at the Bike Hike Committee. They're recommending that the board move this project forward and move this aspect, and hopefully this will be the
This is grant money, isn't it?
Yes, we have the county grant money that we could use to supplement it.
What county grant money? Which county grant money?
The county open space grant money that we have for this
That's
project.
limited at this point, isn't it?
We have $310,000 that we have for this project. We've already received funding for the Neshaminy Greenway.
Okay, so of that 310 for the Neshaminy Greenway?
We would do some of this for that.
Question in the audience.
Yeah, Keith?
Just wanted to make sure they're carving out, they're not going to re-look at the areas that were looked at for the 202 Parkway, because they found stuff there archaeologically, and they're not going to do that again. They're not going to survey the same area that's already been surveyed.
This is an area sort of nearby and adjacent, so that's why they're requesting us to go and do that further. So.
And if they survey it and they find anything, is the township on the hook for anything, any remediation or any?
No, we would probably bring them, if we found anything, which that's an area that is close to the stream, and so Tom Kelso doesn't feel that we'll probably find anything. But if we did find some arrowheads and everything, we have the display, and that's typically what they would want, is to either provide the information and material to PHMC, and they would keep it in Harrisburg, or since we have our little case over here, if you recall when we did Central Park, we had to do an archaeological dig as well, and we now display that material.
Thank you.
So we could do the same thing if we find anything.
Just want to make sure that they're not duplicating stuff that's already been done.
No, they're not. And A.D. Marple would know because they did the work for the Parkway.
Thank you.
So.
All right, is there a motion to approve the new contract amount with the addition of $27,968.91?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All right, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Ta-da. Where's my agenda? Zoning hearing board applications. There are 3. 2 Hidden Lane, 166 Edison Furlong, and 172 Sunset View Drive.
Recommendation.
That they all 3 go to the zoning hearing board
We leave them
without
to them, without representation.
solicitor? Okay. All right, is there a motion to,
Well, basically, the motion would be to send this, otherwise no zoning hearing board will act.
right,
Nobody wants to send us, so...
no, you're not going.
I'm not going.
going.
I knew that.
All right.
There's no motion to send me.
All right, so it's a consensus, and as recommended by the manager, these go without lawyer representation from the township, all three. Budget presentation for 2013, 2014. The 2013 is the revised budget. Let's consider that first.
Okay. The 2013 revised budget remains at 10.25 mils. Do you want totals or you want each fund? You can do it either way.
No, what I noted, I don't know if this makes sense, the actual 2013 revenue was $12,064,424.
Correct.
And the original budgeted revenue was less than that.
Correct.
So that's good.
And our original expenses were projected $11,546,683. Original expenses were $12 million.
The actual expenses.
No, the original budgeted expenses
were $12,397,000. Actual expenses are less by almost $851,000. Is that because we didn't do some work?
Yes.
Okay, it's
Some
not
projects.
that.
Yeah, and that's why our fund balance is $7,683,783.
Okay, so we spent less and we brought in more for 2013 is the end result. Is there a motion to
I'll make a
approve
motion, we
the
approve that.
revised budget for 2013? Tom's made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now, the 2014 budget presented. We have
Yes.
our books. Stephanie wants to speak
This is
to it?
really intended to approve a preliminary budget so that it's available for 20 days for the public to review
No.
In other words, stay at home.
before the board can finally approve it.
Yes.
And the board can make adjustments from the preliminary budget, no more than 10% of an increase on any major topic, 25% on a minor topic as described by the state regulations. It can reduce, however, without those restrictions.
And we had several budget work sessions. This budget contemplated for 2014 does not include a tax increase.
Correct.
It does indicate an increase in revenue. It also indicates an increase in expenses, but I suspect that's because we're going to be doing the $1 million worth of expense improvements that were behind
And
from
some of the
2000.
capital, yes.
And additional capital improvements.
I believe this budget provides you with the services to the township that will remain the same in 2014. It is a balanced budget. It is no tax increase. Millage remains at 10.25 mils. The average value of a house assessed at $40,055 will pay $410.56. 37% of our budget goes to support our police services. Necessary appropriations that have been budgeted by the Board of Supervisors for capital purchases, such as, and this is just a few highlights, $150,000 for a fuel management system, $55,810 for in-car cameras for police vehicles, $390,000, and this is a grant, the Arley grant for traffic signal upgrades for adaptive control, and other grants for funding of Destination Peace Valley and the Neshaminy Greenway. Shows a 3% salary increase for non-uniforms by merit and a 3.5% increase for police salaries by contract. Again, revenues are up over $1 million, and expenditures are up over $2 million. However, we project at the end of 2014 a fund balance of $5,615,713.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve the 2014 budget with no tax increase. It gives me great honor and privilege to do this.
Or the preliminary budget. Motion to approve the preliminary budget for hanging.
For hanging well.
Okay.
So approved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Good job, Department of Finance, Ways and Means, Stephanie, and department heads for putting together very good financial plan for 2014. Let's see what the public has to say over the next 20 days, and we anticipate final movement on the budget at our next meeting in December. Second meeting December.
Second meeting in December.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the Treasurer's Report for November 19, 2013. Is there a motion to
approve.
approve? Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the bills list for November 19th, 2013.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the bills list for November 5th, 2013.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next meeting of the board is Tuesday, December 3rd. We're closed November 28th and Friday, November 29th for Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful holiday, everybody. Thank you for coming,
Let go of the handle.
and good night.